Okay, we have the green light, Shannon.
Woo!
We are live.
Woo!
We are 2 minutes early today, which is amazing, all things considered. And there goes the compressor.
I hate that thing. Especially like when I'm in a bad mood, because it always seems louder when I'm in a bad mood.
I'll say one thing that's frustrating.
Yo!
What's up, Jason? One thing that's frustrating is when I'm out there registering a job or working on something and that thing goes off, and if I'm a little irritated for whatever the case may be, and then it goes off, and then the chiller goes off as well, that was the chiller, and then the compressor goes off. It's like between the two of them. Sometimes earlier today, I had this vision. I didn't tell you about this, but I just had this vision in my head where I took the little 5-pound sledgehammer and just beat the living shit out of
Oh, no. Babe,
the tank and put some dings in it.
like we think the same way. Like when that happened and I knew you were irritated, I had that same vision of you doing that. I'm not kidding.
Me beating up the compressor was
Yes.
completely. I wanted to just pound on it until I banged a hole in it, and it was just like. I
Okay.
think that might have been. Yeah, I would have regretted it. Don't get me wrong, but I
Okay.
see we got ourselves a question. We
Yeah,
got a
Jason said
question.
before we start needs to know ASAP. How do you add a stroke to just one side of a line?
Could you
Like a
elaborate
paintbrush.
a little more? One side of a line?
Hi, Sincere.
Okay, if I'm getting this right, let's say it's a horizontal line and you're just adding a stroke to one side. I don't know. I need some more to tell. I mean, you might have to do that manually. Just draw it in there. So take your line.
Illustrator.
Let's say you're right. Let's say your line is the stroke itself. Then just um, select that line, hit copy, and then paste in front, which is Command F. That will paste it in front directly on top of that. Grab that line and move it up or down, whichever side you need it on, and then put your stroke on it. That's pretty much the only way I can really think of doing it, unless you turn that stroke into if you go to object paths and create stroke, I believe it is. I'll have to go over the Illustrator and take a look, but I mean, you can just delete the three sides using your white selection tool and select the other 2 points and then just hit delete. I hope that makes some sense because I get what you're saying, although to see what you're trying to do visually would be a help as well. Gus, what's up, Gus? Gus says, I purchased your registration template. I'm new to this whole silk screen. I'm not sorry, and not really know how to use it. So sometimes these questions, I feel like I'm reading them wrong, but I'm reading them correct. Well, cool. Thank you so much for purchasing the template. The only reason we had that available for purchase rather than giving it out for free, as some of you guys know, that we and I'm working on that. I'm gonna put a video up here this year about how to use it, and I also need to upload more formats for you guys so that way it covers everything. Because even still to this day, I'm having to send out different formats and kind of help out. So if I had that all on the page where you guys went to purchase it, some videos, explaining how to use it that answers all the general questions that you guys do have. I think that'll be very helpful and save everybody a little bit of time.
Okay.
Right, Shannon?
Well, yeah. It's just we're already starting to answer questions. Do you want to just kick it over?
Of course I do.
All right. Just it has been 5 minutes, and we're already getting into questions.
We're kicking it on over. Welcome to the Shop Gnome and Mikey and Dog Show.
Yo.
No, was that not?
No, I thought you were calling me the dog, and then I realized, oh yeah, there's a dog over there.
I said Shop Gnome.
I know.
That was the first thing I said.
I was just a little confused. That's all. Hi, everybody.
Okay. Well, what's up, guys? We are back for another Monday installment of Shop Talk.
Shop Talk.
Shop Talk.
Shop Talk.
Anyhow, we're gonna answer some of y'all's questions. Shannon, we have some questions waiting in line.
Well, yeah.
Don't we?
Gus wants to know. He's just not sure how to lay out the design from top to bottom on the template.
From top to bottom, so the template when you're laying things out. Initially, like the first video I put up, man, it's probably about 4 or 5 years old now. I used to have it upside down, so that way it was kind of looking at it as you printed it. But to me, it just made more sense if you're looking at it upright. So, let me see if I can pull that template up real quick and then do a really quick demonstration of how I would go about using the template. So just give me un momento and I'll flip it over so that way you can see exactly what I am doing on the computer here and see if I can't find some sort of example that's not giving away any of our clients, so to speak. All right.
Hi, Matthew.
I'm going to flip this over real quick to the screen capture. Just give me 1 second here. So that way you guys aren't sitting there staring at OBS. Okay, so here's the template. When you download it, it is set to an AIT, which is a Adobe Illustrator template. So anytime you open that template up, it's going to create a new document. It's not going to mess with that template whatsoever.
Oh.
Hopefully me using these programs right now isn't going to slow anything down. I probably have one too many applications open, and I don't have the fastest computer on the face of the planet.
We got a mega chat, $5 donation. Super chat, whatever it is. I don't know.
But it's a super
from
chat.
Gus. Yeah, super chat, not mega chat.
Awesome.
Thank you, Gus.
Thanks so much. That's awesome.
He also wants to know if we're not going to be doing any more manual instruction now that we have an automatic.
Hey, to be honest, I still have some videos that I did right before we went over to using the automatic. Speaking of the automatic, the compressor just kicked on. So I will upload some more, and it's not the end of. I actually was going to do some videos on doing some tags. Let me go turn that compressor off real quick.
Wait, what am I supposed to do?
Shannon, say hi to everybody. I don't know.
Hi, everybody. I don't really know what to say. He's like kind of that's about all I got. Is
was that difficult?
A little bit. I think I gave him like 6 ums.
Okay, so on the template, this guide here.
Hi, Orange Star.
This guide that's drawn, that's 3 inches down, or about 3 fingers down, your general placement. So I would just take it, move your graphic up, and then you can take go to your line palette. If you don't have that open, just go to Window and Align, and then set that to Artboard, and then align it. Obviously, I'm not just going to print this out. I would have to separate this out. This is actually something I have to do for a client, separate this out. But let's say it's just a one color job, and there you are. I mean, you can set it to whatever size you want. I mean, I could crop this down so that way we don't have all this extra space, and you can, but let's say our client provided this piece of artwork here, and then that's the size they wanted. So at this point, I would just print it out. This particular job would have there's a damn gnat that keeps flying in front of my face. So this particular job would have a white base, a gold, black. They want part of the ink in navy, and then it would have a white highlight. So it'd be about 5 colors. And so then I would just send it to the rip, and there you go. I mean, you know, you would have your spot colors here, and then when you went to print it out, you'd have your separate spot colors that you would print out. I think that's about as far as I'm really going to dive into that. Just keep an eye out for...
You have videos, right?
I mean, I have a whole lot of videos of me using the template. So just go back and look at some of the videos of me showing how I go about doing my separations and all that. There's quite a bit of them, but I'm going to do one that's specifically geared towards the template that is up, showing in detail how to use it and how to use it for multiple types of jobs, just spot color jobs and spot process and all that. So that's something I am going to get into this year. Also, I'm going to put up a proof template as well that you guys can use. Stick your own branding in that will allow you to put your own PO number in it, your customer number, date ordered, date due, all the colors that you need, whether it's plastisol or going to be a water base or discharge. And then it also has a pre-press checklist, and it also has a disclaimer on it. So that's something else I'll have available for you guys to check out, and I'll show how to use that as well. Pretty simple stuff. Put quite a bit of time into it. So I don't know, maybe I'll put some sort of package deal together towards where you guys can get both those things, and off the races you go. Okay, so well, Shannon,
Star said hi, Shannon, and
Star, like the back end of OBS.
I'm so sorry. I slept walk the other night and I broke your hot sauce bottle, and Matt was super annoyed with me. I apologize.
The thing about that is, I was a little annoyed, but then part of me was like, that's Shannon.
Yeah, I slept walked into the fridge, and it just I don't know.
So I wake up and go out. I go into the kitchen, and there's glass all over the floor. There's hot sauce all over the floor, and there's what's left of the bottle sitting on the counter. And my first thought was, oh no, I'm out of hot sauce. I have to get more hot sauce now. And then the other part is, why the hell did you not clean that up?
Because I was asleep.
Now there's like glass all over the floor. The kids can just walk on it. So I had to sweep up the glass, clean up the hot sauce.
Thank you.
As I'm still just thinking to myself, I'm irritated that was the last bottle of hot sauce.
It was not the last bottle.
Yes, it was.
Oops.
That was the last one. I was looking forward to that.
I was unaware.
Anyhow.
So yeah, oyster. That's what happened to the last bottle of hot sauce.
Oh,
Sleepwalking Shannon killed it. And hey, Free
jeez.
Press. Hey, Jurassic.
Hey,
And
Orange
Jason has
Star.
a question.
I just want to give Orange
Oh.
Star a quick shout out, real quick. We appreciate the super chat. I'm going to take that and buy some more hot sauce.
From him.
Yes, from Texas Hot Sauce Co.
Okay. Well, thank you, Orange Star. And now Jason has a question. Oh, and Orange Star's already offering to send more. But
I'd
so
appreciate that. You don't have to, but I do really enjoy it.
Jason wants to know how you do wet on wet and not have the other colors stick to the bottom of the screen.
Well, they're going to stick to the bottom of the screen. You want them to stick. What you don't want is your screen's really sticking. They can at times stick a little bit if you're getting a little bit of suction, but it's not that big of a deal. Just to make sure you have enough tack down on your palettes, that way it's not pulling the shirts up. I've actually had that happen a couple times this week, which makes me think that I'm like, it's as great as having the water-based palette adhesive. You get going, and sometimes to just stop, and this is the pain in the butt about the water-based palette adhesive is, you kind of have to stop and get all your lint off. I uploaded a video showing how to get rid of the lint, but then you kind of have to let the palettes dry. So I don't know. I might grab some spray tack and hit it in between while we're running off jobs. So you do want the ink to build up on the back or the bottom of the screens, however you want to look at it. They will at times, depending. So what you want to do is you want to go from your smallest print. Let's say you do a white base, and then you go from your smallest print up to your largest. Also, you want to consider your darkest print up to your lightest. So you kind of have to balance the two. If your smallest print is this tiny little thing, but it's black, I'd print that first. And then just kind of order your screens that way, unless the simulated or spot process that you're doing requires you to, let's say for instance, if you're trying to create some sort of orange, then generally you're going to do your red and then your yellow on top, or vice versa. I generally do red on top and then the yellow on top of that. So you'll have to experiment with it, really. And what also helps too is not using such a low mesh count, so that way you're putting a lot of ink down. You put a lot of ink down, it will start to get somewhat of a stamping effect. You can actually see it in your print where you get these little peaks and valleys in your print. So use a higher mesh count, 200, 230. That will keep you from putting down too much ink, getting too much ink built up on the back of those screens. A lot of times, once you get going, you can just hit those once, and because there is ink built up on the back, it will actually, even if the one hit didn't completely clear it, because it does have the ink on the back, it will fill in some of those little peaks and valleys in your screen print. There's been times where I've actually been able to do a white base and not have to, let's say you're using a 156 mesh. Every other print might be fine once you got the ink built up on the back to actually skip doing it every other print. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it works. But experiment with it. So those are my experiences.
Well, Gus wants to know when
Yes.
to use an underbase. When you need to know when to, yeah.
Use an underbase on dark color shirts. Color shirts in general. Color.
Not always though. Like if it's a light blue shirt with a dark blue print, like those ones we did for the school.
Yeah. So that was the next thing I was going to get around to is
sorry.
if
I cut you off.
your ink color is darker than the color of your shirt, you do not need to use an underbase. So let's say, for instance, you got a royal blue t-shirt, and
I hate that thing.
so let's say you're using a royal blue t-shirt, and then you have navy ink, or you're going to use black ink. There's no reason to use a white underbase on that. Say, for example, one of our clients that we did shirts for, it was like a Carolina blue, a golden yellow, white, and then navy. So the navy, we did not do any kind of underbase for, because it's pointless to do a white base and then print something dark on top of it. Just print the dark ink directly onto that t-shirt, and anything that needs to be highlighted, or it needs to be its true color, because if you're to print a golden yellow on top of a blue shirt, it's not going to look all that great with one hit. There are max opaque inks out there, or opaque inks where you can print that opaque ink once and then hit it again. But generally, you're going to be wasting more money using that method. You'll save more money doing a white base, and then let's say, for example, you got white and gold on a royal blue shirt. You want to print a white base, print that gold on top of that white base, come back again and print white on top of that base. So I would just consider the white base, I would just consider that a base, really, to print the rest of your colors on top of.
Okay, first off, Jason, you hush. And,
what did Jason even say?
It said, sounds like Shan Wow keeps shushing you. Ha 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 ha. Hi, Andrew from Cali.
I like that.
Simo A wants to know if we use the same white ink for the manual and the auto, or do we use a different ink? And how do you get the proper angle and pressure with the auto?
What's so funny there, Shannon?
just remembering the learning curve on it.
Yeah, it wouldn't, I mean, don't get me wrong, every single job is a little different. So just like with doing it manually, I wouldn't really say that there's a whole lot of difference when it comes to, at least with the machine that we have. I wouldn't say that there's a whole lot of difference when it comes to using different inks. If the ink, I would say it's quite the opposite. With a manual press, if your ink, you have a white ink that's super thick, you'll be able to judge and grab that ink with your squeegee and pull it, and then be able to hit it as many times as you feel necessary until the mesh is completely cleared. With an automatic, it's either going to flood it and print it with one or a couple or more strokes, and you'll see it clear. But like with the automatic, if you have a multiple color job set up, you're generally sitting at that control panel, and then around the press you have your other colors. And so you, like manually printing, your station that you're printing on is directly in front of you. With an automatic, as that thing's going around, you don't really know what's going on until it comes all the way back around, and however many stations you have, it's printed that many shirts, and you could be boogering up like 8 shirts. And so that's one of the, I would say, cons to, not necessarily a con, learning curve more so. It's just to make sure everything's cool. Check on your shirts as things are going. As everything starts flowing, everything will stay pretty consistent until the damn thing starts running out of ink or something like that. Right?
Yeah.
Right, Shanwell? No? Not feeling it? Okay, so I'm going to go over to some of these questions here.
Okay. I'm back. All right, all right. And Jason, yes, I know you meant the compressor. Okay, Gus wants to know what format you normally ask the customer to provide artwork in.
It's not necessarily that I ask them to provide it in any certain format, because what I have learned is people they tend to have, it depends on who you're working with. There's a lot of clients that are graphic designers, or they have a graphic designer. They have someone that knows their stuff, and they're either going to send it in. I preferably would either be a vector file, depending on the art. I would say vector first, Adobe Illustrator, or a high resolution TIFF at print size, whatever the print size is going to be at 300 DPI. 200 DPI is acceptable. However, 300 DPI, you're going to get best results. But there's a lot of clients that will just, they'll send us a low res JPEG, or whatever the case may be, and we just have to make it happen based off what they send. I mean, there's a lot of times where I just have to go back and recreate the art, or reset the type, or doctor things up. Kind of comes with the territory. You just have to bring to their attention that, hey, this is low resolution art. Do you have anything that's higher resolution? They'll either tell you yes or no. It kind of is a little bit, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt going back and forth if whomever you're dealing with doesn't really get that the art that they just forwarded to you, that's like a thumbnail, it looks great on their phone or whatever, but when it comes time to print it, not so much. It's not gonna produce great quality out of that.
All right, so I'm not pronouncing that. Wants to know the best tool to stretch a screen.
I have no idea.
We take our screens in.
Your hand and a staple gun.
Sorry.
I made screens early on, and it was pretty what's the word? Rudimentary, or
Rudimentary.
no, I'm trying to think. It was just really crudely done, and just there are proper screen mesh stretching, or screen remeshing tools out there. I've never fooled with it because we always paid someone to do it. Honestly, GSG, we'll just exchange our aluminum screens, and we get freshly remeshed screens for a fraction of the price. I wouldn't even say a fraction of the price. I'd say about half the price.
Jason says he has a massive table that stretches 4 screens at once.
Yeah, see, there you go. And you have to have the adhesive, or the epoxy glue, whatever it is. You have to prep the screen itself, so that way that glue will grab on not only to the mesh but also the frame. And if you don't do it right, you can just take one of those corners and go peel it right up.
First off, hi Lucian. Well, welcome to the live. And Orange Star wants to know if we ever did discharge with plastisol.
No, I never messed with that. I've done discharge, but there's not a whole lot of we haven't had a whole lot of requests for that here in Houston. I don't know what it is. Everybody just likes their plastisol ink. Even if we offered, it's weird. Even if we offered, we're like, hey, let's not fool with this plastisol stuff. Let's do water-based or discharge. For us, that would, with our particular conveyor dryer, it would take more time to cure those shirts. But not only that, a lot of people want that feel. They want the plastisol feel, and it's kind of silly. There's people out there that do want water based where they don't want any fill. Which Shannon, I think our client that brought in the samples, I think that might be the best way to go for her because she wants it real delicate. And she kept saying delicate a lot.
Yes, you did.
So water based may be the way to go.
You were the one that talked to her. I was outside in the rain with the dog.
It's Lycra though. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Lycra.
Well, you're gonna get some.
Hey, if any of you guys out there have any experience with screen printing water-based ink onto Lycra, let us know over that away in the chat.
Okay, well, hi, Heavy.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were done. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
The Plasol will work just fine, but go ahead.
So, hi, Heavy Ink. Good night, Carrie J. Ink. And yo, Hot Bucks. What? What?
Nothing.
He's laughing at me, and I don't know why, and it makes me feel dumb. Or maybe he just thinks I'm cute.
No reason. I'll tell you later. It's funny.
Oh,
it's funny, what?
I think I know.
Why are you owing?
Anyways, so Orange Star said he was trying it out this week, and it came out great. The discharge with the plastisol.
Oh, cool.
And Gus wants to know best vendor for pricing supplies and best vendors for teas. That's kind of a preference thing, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say TSC best pricing. However, I mean their customer service.
The customer service, well,
that's good. Is that you? Is that me?
I think that's you.
Oh, jeez.
But no, the customer service is great. I mean, Ian Sweet is awesome, and he's always.
We need to follow up with him.
Yeah,
by the way.
He's always able to help me out in a pickle, and he laughs at my jokes. So
right. So Ian Sweet is great over at TSC. They do tend to have the best prices generally. However, when it comes to returns and exchanges and all that, there's generally like a 20% restock fee when a lot of the other, I'd say S&S and San Mar, their customer service, I think their customer service is really great. I don't know, some of their policies are a little better than others. San Mar doesn't tend to have as much stuff. In TSC as well.
San Mar will have like a lot of the stuff that a lot of the other places will have. Okay, they don't have nearly as many brands, but the stuff that they do have, they tend to offer in a lot more limited colors.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's true as well.
S&S is personally my favorite just because it's like a bigger variety. Has like, so many things. And you don't they make sure that they go an extra step to make sure they're not shorting you shirts, because they provide a checklist that they have gone through it and checked and checked and checked and checked and checked.
Right. Yeah,
and
they're pretty thorough.
The one time we thought that they shorted us a shirt, I got online immediately and talked to somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll credit this to your account." I'm like, "Perfect." And
then at the end of the day, I was walking on top of this white shirt because Shannon just missed it somehow.
You missed it too. You went through them with me.
Kind of.
You went through them and you're like, I guess it's not there.
Yeah, I was like, it's 12. How many shirts was in that order?
12. But
12. It was and then I was just like, okay, that's perfect. Just perfect, because we have to get it out today.
Yeah. Well, anyways, TSC, we love because their customer service is great, but they have the biggest record of shorting us. On TSC.
Oh, yeah.
And Alpha Broder, cannot stand Alpha Broder. Generally, they're more expensive a little bit, and they will dick you on shipping. Because shipping does not apply. Because, you're always looking for like the things that are on sale so that you can get a cheaper price, maybe make more profit off of the blank, or, or to save your customers money or whatever.
I just
But
wouldn't even bother with
yeah, no, no,
Alpha
no. I
Broder.
tried to order 3 things. Ordered 3 things from them, and it was over $100 in shipping. And
Yeah, well
that's when I called Ian. I was like, Ian, help me.
they have that flex shipping, but you have to go and pick it up, and it's not anywhere close to us, and it's a pain in the butt.
So
Anyhow,
and then more
Alpha
expensive.
Broder, I would say on our list, I would say it's Sanmar, TSE, excuse me, SNS, TSE, Sanmar, Alpha Broder we'll look at last. Generally,
If we
it's
can't find it.
SNS first, or TSE. We'll go to TSE just to see what their prices are initially. But I mean, you can't go wrong with TSE, Sanmar, or SNS. Generally, our go-to initially is SNS.
Okay. Gus has a couple things.
SNSactivewear.com, I believe, is
Yeah,
what it is.
I'm not gonna lie. I love them. And one of our clients that we're gonna be talking about later tonight, he absolutely loves the catalog I gave him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but Gus has a couple things, and Hotbox is pointing out that the dog's out.
Oh yeah. Look at it. Look at his ears just pointing sideways.
Okay, so Gus says he never counted his shirts before, and now he will. Always count the shirts. Always,
Yeah,
always, always. We
yeah.
learned that the very, very, very hard way.
The reason we didn't initially, because we were like, oh yeah, they got everything in here that we ordered, and then we would get orders where clients were like, hey, we're missing some shirts, and we couldn't really contest that they weren't missing because we would order them. We're like, oh yeah, we ordered them, but that's not always the case. So we would order them, we get the shirts in, we'll count them,
If I
make
can't,
sure, because sometimes you may have some of the sizes swapped out, and so you definitely want to go through and count them.
yeah, and if I'm missing a shirt, because I'm normally the one that counts them, and if I can't find them, then Matt goes back and double checks after me, kind of like the one with the shirt that you said that I missed, that we both missed. Nah, but
Yeah, but it was buried in the middle of that
yes, it was.
ginormous stack of 12 shirts.
I don't think it was so big. It wasn't like ginormous. It was just slippery.
How we ever missed
Okay.
one T-shirt out of 12?
And he also wants to know the cheapest tee for both white and dark.
Probably a
Price.
PC 54
Yeah, I would say.
from Sanmar.
Hayden's can be pretty cheap too.
Yeah, Hanes can get down there as well. Maybe even Fruit of the Loom, but generally PC 54 is going to be your cheapest shirt. I recall that the first time I got an order for 1,000 shirts, I had like this crazy deal that I had going on that was like $195 a t-shirt for 1,000 of them, white shirts with a one color print. I didn't think anyone would ever take me up on that, and they did. Which it wasn't bad, because doing 1,000 shirts, I got the shirts for $1 at the time. 4 or 5 years ago, I got them for $1.14 each, and so I made about 80 cents a t-shirt, and it took me. It didn't take very long. It probably took me about 2 5-hour sessions. 2 separate days just going at it, and I made about $700 minus the ink, which the gallon of ink that I bought for it I had for years. So I made a good $700 profit off of that. That was pretty cool.
Oh, and just Gus, I know, like, because you said it, we started saying it. But when you talk to your clients, it's also better not to say cheapest. When you talk to your clients about pricing and stuff, and
Economical.
either economical or most cost effective. That's gonna be it's gonna not, so to speak, cheapen the value of the product.
Even the word affordable is kind of
No, it's just most cost effective.
Not a word. I recall, like, I used to use the verbiage affordable a lot on my site, and then what ended up happening is got a lot of those type of clients that just were looking for cheap shirts, basically. And what happens is, like, let's say you're starting off and then you're offering cheap shirts. eventually you're going to want to raise those prices so that way you're kind of getting your feet wet offering cheap shirts, and then what happens is you start to raise your prices, and then the clients that were buying the cheap shirts are like, man, what happened? You keep raising the price of shirts. There was this chef, cheap ass, because I put the word cheap in my marketing material. He's like, man, what happened? Matt, every time I get a hold of you, your prices are going up. But the thing is, he thought like the shirts that I did initially was a two-color design for him, and I did 100 of them. And I had them at a really low price. I think I like $4.15 or something a shirt. That was 5 years ago. And he came back and he's like, "Hey, I want 20 shirts," and it was like 4-color process on a white shirt. And I started upping my prices, and he's like, "Man, these are expensive each." I'm like, "Dude, well, it's 4-color process. You want 20 of them? I can't offer those at $4.15 or whatever it was a shirt."
Jurassic's Hi Liberty. Jurassic's also saying, and Liberty is also saying cost effective, and Jurassic saying inexpensive are also good ways to put it too. Because cheap's one of those words that, as well as giving customers a certain expectation, it lowers the value of what the product is in the customer's mind. Because you think cheap, you think Walmart, you don't, that kind of thing.
Right. There's also what a lot of shops do as well, and which might be something that we want to do as well, is put together a sales sheet that has different model numbers of shirts where it's like good, better, and best. So the good would be like a Gildan 5,000 or 2,000.
Gildan 5,000 is fine.
better would be your ring spun cotton shirts, maybe like a 64,000 or some Toltecs or something like that. And then best would be your American Apparel, Bella Canvas, Next Level. Your blanks that are going to cost you closer to $3 to $4 each.
Anything that's going to make the women feel fat because they're half a size smaller. That's your high quality stuff.
So I would say that might be something to adopt, is your $2 shirts that are just your regular knit t-shirts, saying that's your good shirts, and then your better are like, let's say the 64,000 where it's getting closer to $2.50 a shirt, and then best. The best quality shirts, which are going to be your Bella Canvas, American Apparel. If American Apparel is really, I know there's still a thing, but that some of those might even fall into the better range where they're made overseas now.
First off, Hotbox doesn't like Gildan at all. He can't stand it. And
what do you like to go? What's your go-to then, Hotbox?
I kind of want to look more into alternative, because we had somebody actually come out to our shop and do a demo for alternative. Yeah. She brought in a whole like rolling rack, and
she did.
And I'm like, look at this. I'm like, I want this one. I want this one.
That was impressive.
It was awesome. I want to kind of look at more into alternative.
Yeah, that would be on the best side, because those weren't cheap shirts. They were nice. They did have some. I think their economy shirt or some crap like that. Wasn't there?
I don't remember.
Yeah, they had some on the lower end.
Either.
They're fine. I mean, it's kind of the industry standard, but I mean, if we didn't offer Gildan shirts, I couldn't even tell you what are we going to use? Hanes or Fruit of the Loom?
I do that sometimes.
I mean, we do, but they tend to be out of stock quite a bit, or not have as many colors. I could be wrong. I don't know. Shannon's taken over the options for t-shirts and all that. I just print crap and make art. That's what I do now. So she took one of the fun parts away about I enjoyed shopping around for shirts and be
You want to
like,
go back to doing it?
ooh. I can't do it all, Shannon.
Exactly.
Damn it. Can't do it all, man. I've given away. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't an easy relationship to give up. And it was that relationship of buying t-shirts. You know, that was actually one of the things that I know I just said this, but I enjoyed that part of it.
It didn't seem so hard when we were slammed when I first got into this. You were like, you order shirts. This is how you do it.
Well, I mean, you know, you got to delegate certain things out towards, like, okay, Shannon, do the artwork for this.
To be fair, I have done the artwork for some of it.
Yeah, you've done proofs and artwork. When I'm just like, I can't do it right now. You have to help me and pick up this part of the slack.
And the best part is I don't have any idea what I'm doing.
And she's like, what do you think about this? Perfect. That looks great. I'd glance at it and be like, that's awesome. Okay, send it to them. And then it would get approved, and I don't even know what the artwork looks like. And I'm like, what does it look like? Print it out.
And I'm just like, I showed it to you. Don't even remember. God, what's my birthday? Do you remember that? What's my middle name?
Oddly enough, the two things at this point that I've been delegating and want to delegate out more to other people is doing artwork changes or creating art. That, or I mean, the reclaiming screens, we have Panda that comes in part-time and does that. Not that I absolutely hate doing it, it's just it's harder finding someone when things are based around doing designs and people see designs and they're like, hey, I want to design based off of that. It's harder to find someone that can do designs along the same lines as you versus, hey, come over and reclaim some screens. Or one of the next things we might have to do this coming year, depending on how some of this contract printing thing is going, is hiring an operator out there, someone to run the press. But I like that part too. I like getting out there and messing with the press and printing stuff. I just can't do it all. This is the thing. I think I
cuss a lot for someone that loves it.
I almost would rather go out there and just cuss and until things look right on the press and print shirts than be behind the computer designing stuff all day long.
Well, that's what you were saying in the beginning, but you didn't want. That's why you started. You didn't want to be behind the computer. That's why you got out of just straight graphic design.
I still enjoyed it. It depends on the project. There's a lot of times when doing the graphic design, and when you've been doing something for so long, it's kind of nice being able to get some help with that. And then eventually you're no longer a graphic designer. Eventually you become an art director. And I was an art director for quite some time. The reason you step up is you're not always going to be that dude down doing every single thing, and then you kind of have to just oversee things. And like little by little each year, it's kind of like delegating out these tasks for people to do. The thing I haven't come across or found a great artist just yet I've done that. I've sent artwork to other artists, and there's sometimes they knock it out of the park, or it's subpar, and I look at it and I'm just like, oh no. You know, I'd rather put the time in, do it myself, make it right, rather than pay this smaller fee and just to get it done. It's like I needed someone to redraw a logo from a low resolution thing, and they're like, yeah, $5-10, and these are people overseas. We've yet to get someone in house to come and work with us, because
don't tell them
they're more expensive. So anyways, I sent that out and I was like, oh my god, this is awful. paid the $10 or whatever it was, and then ended up just redrawing. Like, I couldn't use any of it.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so Hotbox is saying, he's like, don't get me wrong, I'll print Gildan for customers, but he prefers shifting them when he can, but it's hard because Gildan often wins on the price.
So what shirt does he use? Did you mention?
He uses Gildan, but he'll shift it. He likes the he likes Anvil on the cheap as an alternative, and he thinks that the soft style Gildan is a weird fit. And Uproar.
I kind of
likes
like
the tall text. Uproar likes
the tall.
And Hotbox,
Esteban.
I still Uproar. I still need to send you that picture, that video of your
The
son
kids
and Maddie. Oh my god, it was so freaking funny. Maddie's like singing, and there's a video of her and Uproar's son. It's just like going every now and then, just runs across the screen going, ah! Oh, sorry. Is that loud? Okay. Anyways, and
just Hotbox,
I agree with you. The Gildan's percent of defects is often high. Yeah.
Yeah, there would be holes and stains. Yeah, but it doesn't matter who we've gotten them from. We've had that issue with all of them.
Yeah,
even a Bella Canvas. We're doing the firefighter shirt. I'm like, well, this one's got a hole in it. After we'd already done the front and we're doing a 6-color spot process on the back, it's like, well, whatever.
But yeah, but Gildan,
part of the clause.
I don't know if it's because we use Gildan more, so we see it more, or if Gildan just has more. I don't know. Anyways, Charles.
I mean, it's not that often. I mean, there's been times when the seams of things were just awful and the quality control completely just sucked. But anyhow,
okay.
What were you gonna say, Shannon?
First up, hi Charles, and he has his problem is finding tall shirts and small shirts in the same color.
Yeah, that is a problem. We had, I believe we may have lost this client because they wanted 8XL t-shirts. I couldn't even tell you where to get 8XL tall t-shirts from. And the only thing I could find was on Amazon. They were like $25 a shirt. So I'm like, Shannon, help me find some 8XL shirts. We couldn't find anything.
I found them on Amazon.
Couldn't really find anything. And I was like, well, it's going to be a $25 upcharge because, you know, our blanks that we normally get, what you're wanting, are a couple dollars. And then these 8XL shirts just for the blank themselves was $25. Didn't hear anything back. I was like, okay, whatever. Hey.
I honestly, the print would look tiny.
I don't. 8XL. That's like a cover for. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, like, with our printing press, it would look small because we have a limited amount with the film that we have. That's all I'm saying.
This is true. Yeah, we can only do so big a print. I think the biggest print we can do is like 16 by 18, which, don't get me wrong, is a pretty good size print, but. Anyhow, all right, is there any more questions? There's some other things I want to talk about as well.
There's not really any questions. Bye, Liberty. Hi, bye.
Hey, Liberty.
Matt Gildan's
bye, Liberty.
Trash, but that's what the customer wants to pay for. Greg Stevenson uses Bella Canvas for his DTG, but he doesn't like the fit. Sonny. Hey, Sonny.
Hey, what's going on there, Sonny?
And no, that's it.
Speaking of DTG, okay, for those of you that are hanging around, I was kind of messing around with the constant ink supply system that I have. For whatever reason, I mean, it's working great. Don't get me wrong, saving a lot of money on it, but they don't really tell you where to put that little middle holder. So I was going online looking for a better place to put the little center support. Found another place to try, because sometimes it was just banging up against the print head and would stop it. But something interesting that I did find was this inexpensive DTG kit that you could buy for your wide format printers. Like, say, for instance, we have a 1430. Or we have no affiliation with these people, by the way. But I showed Shannon it as well, and she thought it was pretty interesting. And so there's this website called Nico DTG. And so I thought this was pretty interesting. They have some videos of these the system that this guy's selling. I have no idea where they're located, how much shipping and all that crap will be. So I thought I would share this with you guys because we have an extra 1430 laying around, and I think for $2,800 plus shipping down the road is definitely something worth considering, because we get a lot of people that are the ones and twos, and they want full color on everything, and it's just not, we're not going to make any money off of it. And the price versus screen print, something like that, this would be a great option for any of you guys out there that might happen to have one of these printer models, like a 1430 L1800, a P600, P800. So that might be something worth checking out, because it looks pretty cool. It will do it on light and dark shirts. So it looks like it's got, depending on your model number, it really looks like it uses just CMYK in 4 of your tanks, and then the rest are going to end up being white. But because we have a 1430, I was like, man, that's pretty cool. You know what? We should look into that in the future once we pay a bunch of crap off. And anyways, I thought it was pretty cool. As you can see in this example here, it's a couple of the colors are white, and it comes with software and all that stuff. So
Okay. Well,
for the 1430, it's only $2,500.
only that. Anyways.
Only. Yeah, you know what? If we did about $2,500 worth of shirts at $20 a pop, we'd only have to sell 125 shirts for it to pay for itself.
What are they gonna be, all 8XLs?
I don't care. Bring the damn 8XL in. We'll charge you 20 bucks a t-shirt, and then we'd only have to do 125 of them. We already got the printer.
Anyways.
No, there's no anyways to it. Shannon,
you just got the automatic.
Can I get an amen?
No.
On this.
You get a damn
Nico
you. You get a damn
DTG,
you. No amens.
The
damn
1430 version 1. Can I get a amen
damn
on
you.
buying one of these?
Damn you.
Is that or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Screen Princess. Thank you very much. Cute name, by the way. Sunny likes
the cute
Screen Princess.
Screen Princess.
Like princess.
Oh yeah,
That's cute.
That.
Thank you. She says she likes our show. Very fun to watch. Thank you very much again. Sunny goes to the Guild and Hammers. I'm not a big fan of them myself, but
they're cool. I like the hammers. It's a boxier fit, ring spun cotton, and it's a heavier ounce of material, t-shirt material. I dig it. We just don't. We're kind of the run of the mill. Like, that's what a lot of our clients want. We've kicked that option out there, and it's just who was it that wanted to check that out?
Ace.
That was Ace, but he didn't end up going out with. He went with the champion after all.
Yeah. The champion. Oh, Lord. Anyways, so
yeah.
Greg wants to know what's on Apollo's head.
Okay. We may have, you know what? Well, so what's on his head is he had his ears cropped. Dobermans generally their ears are floppy and they lay over, so they have to be cropped down. There's stitches that are put into them to kind of make them erect. So they're in the training process and partially the healing process. I think the vet says he has one more re-rack. Come here.
Which is thank God, because his head by the end of like the racks smells so rank.
So his ears are racked up for so his ears will stand up, and Apollo is going to take over. Dude, okay, all right.
He's too big for this anymore.
He's 4 months old now, and so to answer your question, it's because he got his ears done. They crop him down, and here's how big he is now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's getting he's gonna be a great personal protection doggy. Look at this, look at the size of these paws. Like, my hands aren't small by any means, but those are some pads right there. All right, get out of my lap. Go.
He's heavy.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so people are talking about not being fond of heavy teas. Me either.
Nah, I don't like him either.
Now.
What's that?
He was hiding behind my legs now. He's in a safe spot under my desk.
Okay. Hopefully he doesn't need to go pee now.
Oh.
What is it?
He thought we were Adventure Time fans. I don't know what that is.
I think Adventure Time's cool, and it's a little trippy. It kind of reminds me of like Ren and Stimpy a little bit, where it's like a little weird. It's Adventure Time's a little bit of a trip.
I like anime.
It's funny. I've watched it
Stop.
With the kiddos before, but I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of time to kind of kick.
You don't
back
have time
and
for
watch.
Adventure Time?
I do not. I really don't. I wish I did. I wish I had some more time to. I wish I could just like sit on the couch and with the beer and geek out some Adventure Time, but I watched quite a few of them with the kids, but they really outgrow these little phases that they're in and go on to other things. So
I'm still waiting to outgrow the anime thing.
there was the regular show. Regular show was another one. I was like, man, yeah, this is cool. And they outgrew that too. You need to take them outside?
Well, yeah, but it's also 8 o'clock.
Okay. So let's see. Is there any more questions? And then I'm trying to recall what else I wanted to talk about. We didn't really dive into. So did any of you guys go to the ISS show? If so, how was it? Let us know in the chat. Rybeats, been watching your videos. I know he's not. He's probably not watching right now, but I think that's cool that he won the press. Wish we could have went. However, we have stuff to do here, and also we spent a lot of money on this getting this automatic up and going. There's still more stuff that we need to do. We still need to get some pallets. Luckily, we haven't really had that much of a need for sleeve and the youth pallets, but we're looking out for that stuff right now. Anyhow, yeah, wish we could have gone. Houston has one coming up in June, and we'll definitely be there, right down the road, and more than likely we'll be at the one in Fort Worth as well. So if you guys come out to either of those shows, we'll be there. Let's see, what have we got here? How's your let's see. The thing on the dog's head looked like that costume on that kid's head in the cartoon. Ah, okay, yeah. I see what you're talking about there. He kind of well, when it was Christmas time, a lot of people were like, "Hey, he's got antlers on his head," and now he just looks like he's got a really bad toothache. Let's see, my son put me on to Gravity Falls. Super funny, actually. Have not seen that. I'll have to check that out. How's your freckle? Says screen Screen Princess.
Still there.
Which freckle are we talking about?
I don't know. One freckle on my arm.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I've slept since then. So, there's a lot of things that Shannon fills my head up with, and sometimes I only have so much space where it's like, here's what's inside of my head. Here's the things she's filling up with, and then here's the things that are just knowledge that's being pushed out, going that away. It's like T-shirts. It's like whatever's going in the conveyor this side, there's only so much that tunnel's going to hold, and then eventually they come out. Why are you looking at me like that?
Don't.
I'm going to turn the camera over that way. You can't just sit there and mean mug me like that for a while and then expect the camera not to be on you. Okay, let's see what else. Anyway, so right now we're gonna kind of wrap things up. But right now, it tends to be our clothing line season. That's one of the other things we want to talk about. I think we're just gonna touch on it real quick by saying that we've been getting a lot of clients that are doing their clothing line stuff, which is pretty awesome. And we hope you guys have been getting that kind of work as well.
And if anybody knows anything about printing on, what is it, Lycra?
Lycra, yes, yeah. Lycra.
Tips, comments, chats. In the chat.
Printed on Lycra before. It's just
delicate. But we need delicate.
We need a delicate water-based printing on Lycra. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
How about that? So, aside from that, I think we're gonna get out of here in a minute or two. Shannon, is there anything else you wanted to touch on while we are here? I'm gonna stop looking at the delay that is our live feed.
Nope. Just talking about Jurassic says we won't be able to print long sleeves on the press.
On the auto?
Yeah. We're figuring that out.
Well, we still have the manual for that kind of stuff, and we had a client inquire about the long sleeves and all that, which we just planned on doing on the manual anyways. Oh, excuse me.
They're talking about ISS was cool. Jason's gonna be at the Atlantic City one. They're talking about the ISS for most of the part. Jason apparently is part ginger, so he has freckles. Gus says that he was at ISS and some of the vendors are intimidating.
Which vendors were intimidating?
I get that. GSG was pretty intimidating.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of those. Okay,
and I love GSG.
I would say that's one of the things about going to the ISS show is it's almost like going to a car dealership where they just like swoop down on you. It's like, hey, what can I interest you in? How about you back up and let me just look at the equipment and film it, so that way I can swing other people your way if they're interested in whatever you're offering, type of deal. But I mean, it's like for us. Don't get me wrong. Anytime that I've gone, like the first time I went, I wanted to just check out the entry-level automatics. And I found that either they would like swoop on you and then do their sales pitch when you really didn't want that.
Like
a lot of times you just kind of, it's like when you're looking for a new car and you go on a Sunday. Because there's no salespeople there and you just want to take a look. And then after you've kind of made your mind up, you go there and then they'll throw their pitch on you where we got rebates on this and this has a APR and blah, 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 blah. This one's got the cool, the air conditioned seats. Like the people from MHM came into the shop and are like, oh, you can set off contact for every single head. And you can dial each print head's degrees and all that stuff in. And it's like, yeah, that sounds great, man. This is like the Bentley of screen printing machines. How much is it? Well, if you got to inquire about the price, you can't really afford it, kind of thing. I was like, no, it's not that. I want to know what all these features, what kind of premium it comes with. And so, because we did get a bunch of quotes from a lot of people, and we went the route we did because it was feasible for us without like killing ourselves overhead wise. So anyhow, I totally get that as far as the it can be overwhelming, all those people just kind of coming in on you. But hey, that's kind of how it is at those ISS shows. Ooh, thanks for jumping up my lap, Apollo.
So I think pretty much that's about it.
God, what did you do outside? Did he drink some water or something?
I don't know. It was dark. I can't see.
His feet are all wet. Ugh, gross.
Yay,
Anyhow,
puppies.
yeah.
All right.
Isn't that fantastic?
I think that's about it.
Okay, Shannon, do you have any fun story time things you'd like to say? Or
I do, actually.
Yeah, you got something?
Yep. Today I learned that a sheep, a rooster, and a duck were the first passengers on a hot air balloon.
What?
True story.
Okay, well, there you have it. There's your fun Shannon fact for the week. I think you should really think about that all week. Like, just let that rotate. Just let that go through your mind all week, and simmer on that. Why don't you?
A sheep, a duck, and a rooster. Hot air balloon.
Guys. Well, it's been fun. I'm hungry.
Liquor store closes in an hour.
Still got some taxes and crap to file by tomorrow. You didn't know about all that. Anyhow, we're going to get out of here, you guys. It's been fun as usual. Let us know down in the comments or any other topics you want us to talk about, even though we really didn't hit on anything in particular. It's been kind of a Q&A type of day. Dude. And we're going to get out of here. Shannon, you want to say
bye, guys. Hearts.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. I'm trying to drive over here, Apollo. I'm trying to drive.